With these hands, I conduct the world. I don't think that works. But anyway, it is the 26th of, I was about to say the 26th of January. That's weird. 2024. It's August, not January. Calm down. It's the Should I Play This Game podcast for episode 305. And as always, the man driving the technology, because I'm not smart enough for it, Mr. Graham Banks.
Hello, how are you?
You like my game show introduction for you?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Bummer. Looks like I can't host Sale of the Century then.
Where did that stop?
It's a good question. When did Sale of the Century stop airing?
Stop. Where did that sale?
Okay. Brief detour. Let's fact check. When did Sale of the Century end?
When did that? Okay.
It ended. Oh, Jesus Christ. 01.
2001. Wow.
Fucking hell.
I would not have said it was that long ago.
Neither would I. Tony Barber and old mate John Burgess as the hosts.
No, it wasn't John Burgess.
Yeah, Burjo was on there for a little bit.
Well, he might have been on for a little bit, but no, he wasn't. Not according to the Wikipedia article I'm looking at.
Glenn Ridge.
Glenn Ridge is the one that.
I got myself mixed up. He looks he looked a little bit like Burjo.
John Burgess was the one who did Wheel of Fortune, wasn't he?
I don't know.
Sure, that's what he was.
Australian game show on an Australian video game show. Fucking bang!
Yeah, he did Wheel of Fortune. That's what he was. Yeah.
Wheel of Fortune or Sale of the Century?
He didn't do Sail of the Century.
No, I'm not asking you which one he did. I'm asking which. So I should preface that question maybe a little bit more intelligently. Which was your preference? Which would you prefer, Wheel of Fortune or Sale of the Century?
Sail of the Century. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune was.
Sale of the Century was good shit.
Mm.
Good way to make me feel like a fucking idiot too when I was a kid.
Mm.
I don't know the answer to this question. I'm dumb. Yep. Were you of an age where Amazing was on after school?
I have no idea. No, it doesn't ring any bells to me. Nope.
Oh man, Amazing was great. You had like primary school kids, and they'd get to play in Super Nintendo, but because the TV was so far away, they sucked at it, and you sat back and you're like, "You guys are fucking shit." Anyway, I think that's our first F-bomb for the lesson. I was about to say lesson. That's weird. For the episode. Anyway, one night, opening night live happened during the week. Gamescom.
Yes.
Gamescom. Is it just me or is yes, it's big, because the number of people that go in and it's across multiple days. But is Gamescom necessary outside as a big event?
Ask the question again a bit better.
Thinking's hard today. Do you think that we need this part of the year, this span for a announcement session, like an opening night live?
Okay, so you ask if we need Gamescom, or you ask if we need opening night live?
I think more opening night live, because I think Gamescom's important for the European audience.
Well, it's the only show that people can go to that's big, because E3 doesn't exist anymore.
PAX?
PAX is not a game. Games don't get announced at PAX. Not big games like AAA games don't get announced at PAX.
It would seem. I did not think this line of questioning through properly.
So it's the only show that people can go to. So Gamescom is needed for that purpose, along with Tokyo Game Show, I guess, to a degree. But that's more.
Yeah, that's what we should do. We should go to Tokyo Game Show.
But that's obviously more Asian focused, or at least Asian developer publisher focused.
Japanese.
But in terms of opening night live, yeah, if you're going to have something like a big show like on Gamescom, might have some sort of live stream or something. So
I suppose. The question becomes:
I think the problem is that the E3 war period that it was is way too close to Gamescom. It's only 3 months apart.
Yeah, that
probably
was more, I think, along the lines of where I was going with that.
It really should be, if they're going to split those out a bit more, they should actually bring the E3 stuff. Well, not that it's E3 anymore. April, May, bring that forward a couple of months. Leave Gamescom where it is, because it's a physical event now. Well, still is, I should say.
Yeah.
and just split those, make a bit more of a gap between the two. But then you
Because
can
we
look at,
talked about it.
but yeah, I think Gamescom is a thing is still needed clearly because you don't have E3 anymore.
We talked about it off air, off record, about our thoughts on opening night live. And I think we both sort of feel like it pretty similar, sort of very mid-tier, some okay announcements or okay showings, but
yeah, I mean, I thought the presentation itself was okay. If you just ignore the I think the host did well, Jeff Keighley and who's the other person whose name escapes me, sorry.
The Unreal Tournament lady.
Yeah, they were both all good. But yeah, in terms of what like any of those shows, regardless of who puts it on, is going to live and die by if the games that they showed you are appealing to. That's it. That's a purely subjective point of view. Like, that's purely subjective. So from my perspective, yeah, it didn't really go, wow, I need to go, I want to play that right now kind of thing. There was a couple of announcements I thought were interesting. I did like
such as
I did like the I did not that I'm going to play it, but I did like the trailer they did for Goat Simulator being remastered. That was actually quite amusing.
That was well done.
That was well done. But in terms of
the need for a Goat Simulator remastered is definitely not there.
No, it's not there. It's
3 only came out fucking 18 months out, if that.
Yeah, so it's not something I'm necessarily going to play. But in terms of what was shown, I'm really actually now. I know there were some things that were mentioned, but now I'm struggling to. Let me go through a article to remind myself what was shown or what was talked about. So we have Mafia Old Country. Yeah, nothing big. I still think Indiana Jones is looking really quite good. That's now coming to PlayStation 5 in the new year. You've got a date for that. Was probably the big thing. Got a date for Indiana Jones.
Yep, December 9th.
December 9th, so that's something. What else was there? Dune Awakening.
Most of what was actually there were mostly known quantities.
Most of it was known quantity. There weren't many new things in there. Dune Awakening still is interesting for me. I'm curious what that's going to be. We saw the co-op, the campaign sort of thing for Call of Duty Black Ops 6. So yeah, maybe. Borderlands 4 I think was pretty much a known secret, for want of a better term, for that.
Yeah. They needed to deflect from the fucking dog shit that was goddamn the movie.
Yeah, the movie.
I want to watch that.
What else? Yeah, I'm not seeing. There wasn't much else that really.
So they re-revealed Arc Raiders, which had gone radio silent for quite some time. I've been interested in that basically since I don't know, they talked about it initially. Infinity, I think it's Infinity Nikki, or is it Infinite Nikki? The sort of semi-Japanesey, semi-fashiony, semi-open worldy sort of thing.
This is Infinity Nikki's on the thing I'm looking at.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah. Maybe Space Marine 2, but
yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Reanimal, which is the developers behind Little Nightmares 1 and 2. Not that I've ever played Little Nightmares 1 and 2, but, you know. Hurdling. I thought Hurdling looked cool.
Hurdling, that was actually kind of interesting.
Hurdling looks really, really interesting. And it is... I can't remember off the top of my head, but that studio does have some pedigree. And I thought it was really funny that they talked about the publishers of Firewatch. That amused me. Unknown 9 and First Berserker Kazan, but I already knew about those. I was looking forward to those already. So seeing a bit more of those. Cool. Maybe Arena Breakout Infinite, which is certainly 3 words you can put together for a title of a video game. But that's also playing in the... Oh, what's that really? Escape from Tarkov. It's playing in that Escape from Tarkov sort of sandbox. And I didn't realize this, but there was a future game show at Gamescom too.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Caravan Sandwich got a release date. That's cool. September 13th. I'm looking forward to that. But Civilization 7, any interest?
No, not really.
And then there's the Age of Mythology and Ara, which, meh, not
Ara
really.
does sound interesting to me, because of what that's the scope of that thing. But yeah, not a day one purchase or anything, but I'm interested to see what that
Oh,
is.
but it's on Game Pass, so it doesn't need to be.
Yeah, so just in terms of what that is, I'm just curious about it. Yeah, there wasn't a real lot of yeah, like if you yeah, I'm not too sure it's going to be the kind of a show where they're going to announce something out of that's a AAA game, because by then, by if that game is going to if that unless that game's coming out the next year or the year after,
Hmm.
it ain't really going to get announced just then at Gamescom in August for an October, September October release,
Yeah.
November release, because it's just too soon. So
The big ones were were bookending the show, and Borderlands 4 and Mafia, the old
Old Country, which seems
old
like
country. Thank
that
you.
was literally
But
just a 20-second
yeah, both of
teaser
them were
trailer.
20-second teasers,
Yeah,
and both of them
they're
level of
fairly
interest. Eh.
there. I mean, I'm interested in this to a degree in Mafia, but nothing. No interest in Borderlands. Couldn't give a. I just do not care about that series anymore.
Mm.
But yeah, I saw a lot of people when I was looking at the. Because I watched that on delayed after like the VOD on on demand afterwards.
Mm.
People say, "Oh, Mafia looks great." From what did you fucking see? The thing is going to be. It looks great. Like, seriously, it was literally.
The pre-rendered shit they showed looked great.
It's great, yeah, I guess so. But Jesus, to get that excited about that is just bizarre to me.
It is weird that people are like, if people are that stoked for a Mafia game.
Yeah,
I mean, it is the fourth one, so there's got to be some fan backing of
there
it.
would be,
But
but I mean, the remasters. Well, the remasters of the first one was of like they did the remaster of all three technically a year or so ago.
yeah, they did a pack for him last
Um,
year or something.
but and the first one of that was really good. But the second and third one, well, the third one was so new anyway, it didn't really need a remaster. But
Mm.
the second one I think was a bit.
And the third one's strength is its story more than playing it, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah, it wasn't really going to benefit from a remaster anyway, so that was old in itself.
Mm.
But yeah, so the whole thing, like, yeah, that whole Mafia being, yeah, I can understand why they're making another one. But in terms of, yeah, being super excited about it, no.
Yeah, no.
Literally just showed nothing of what that game's going to be. So it looked like something based in, the start of the Mafia as a concept, as a thing from Italy. So it's got an interesting setting that you sort
Like
of
the
go into.
1900s, yeah, that sort of vibe.
If you go into a
I wonder
Mafia,
if they work in any like World War, like obviously depending on what scope and what like
yeah,
how long of
how
a
long?
period of time, whether they work in
Yeah.
World War One or World War Two and Mussolini
Yeah.
and all that sort of stuff. That could be
Yes.
super interesting. But
So yeah, the setting is interesting. Obviously, the gameplay will probably be much the same as it's always been for that series.
yeah,
But beyond that, yeah, okay. Not sure there's anything to get excited about because it's literally just been announced, and there was nothing in that was you could ever say, oh, that's what the game's going to be like, because it was just a 20-second pre-rendered thing. So
yeah.
yeah,
I think you're right. That concept of it coming so close from that key 3 window,
I think
like
that's
outside of those real.
yeah, I think that's
Sorry, go on.
where Gamescom will suffer, quote unquote, is because it's so close
Mm.
to the E3 or was the E3 Keeley stuff. So
At least from an announcements perspective.
from an announcement perspective, if you're going to announce something in August, which is literally just 2 months after E3 stuff,
And 2 months before the Game Awards.
before the Game Awards, you might as well just announce it in E3 and be done with it. So I can sort of
Yeah.
imagine why the bigger stuff gets the E3 June window, and smaller stuff and some repeated stuff gets announced at Gamescom or reappears at Gamescom, saying we're still doing it, sort of a stuff. So yeah, but as they don't have their own events, like there's no Nintendo Direct or Xbox show. Well, there were a couple of Xbox showcases, I think.
They weren't really showcases though. They were just more longer videos.
Yes, they just it's not the same focus as what the June
No.
E3 Summer of Games Fest is all about. So that's where it suffers.
It's sort of
from.
that halfway point between PAX and what E3 kind of was, but for Europe.
Yeah. In fact, it's more akin to PAX because of the
Yeah.
the people can actually go to it. It's more of a less of a trade show than what E3 is. But yeah. So yeah, I mean it was alright. I found it dragged
It
in
was
places.
interesting enough.
Interesting enough, it dragged in a couple of places. I still think that this is going to sound really bad, but when bringing on developers to talk about their game really drags those shows down.
Some of them do not have media training.
They don't have media training. Some do, some don't.
I like that dude who was like talking about his Prime, the cutscene studio that was doing the announcing the Prime series and how emotional he got.
Yeah, he got.
That was nice.
It was nice, but I still don't really.
Well,
know
not nice that he was getting emotional, but the crowd was really backing him. That was cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll watch that, but
I'm not so sure what that's going to be. I'm curious what that's going to be. That's out. That starts in a couple of months, I think. So yeah, I think it was just as always. As it comes down to what games they're showing. There wasn't a lot. I think there's probably more of the indie, smaller stuff shown outside of that event.
Yeah, looking like the future game show stuff that I looked at on IGDB, there was a few things that I'm like, most of it I already knew about and already had on wish lists, but it's like, yo, there's some good stuff here. Like I said, that's where Caravan Sandwich got its release date. But yeah, I think it is a really to really stack the back half of the year in essentially 3 shows and 6 to 8 hours worth of video for announcements and stuff that really stacks. There's like nothing up the front. Revenge of the Savage Planet. There was a sequel to Journey of the Savage Planet announced that in the pre-show. What a fucking stupid place to put that. But it's not like the first half of the year couldn't benefit from anything.
That's kind of what I mean. Like if you bring the summer stuff, which I realise it's got a branding of summer, so it's a bit hard to do that. But if you bring that concept forward to Easter, like maybe make it at Easter Games Fest or something, that sort of April May sort of time frame, then you've then got a 4 to 5 month gap that makes Gamescom could get some bigger announcements. But it's not really when you think when Gamescom started, Open Night Live wasn't a thing. It was just Gamescom. So really, it's clearly interjecting himself into Gamescom is why Opening Night Live exists currently. So I think it's
Keely got to get paid, yo.
Yeah, so it's part of that sort of process that I think it's just him getting himself into that thing, which is fine. Good on him. Good for the hustle. But I think because of that being so close to the other stuff, it means it's not going to be anywhere near the close on the level of scale of what the Summer Games Fest is about. So,
when do we get the oversaturation of Keely?
Oh, we're at it. For because we're already there.
Yeah.
They have just got 3 big gaming shows. I think he could have left Gamescom alone and been absolutely fine. But yeah, I mean, looking at this. I'm just going through this feature game stuff. Like that's got a lot more things I'm now going to go back and look at a bit more closer because there's a lot more smaller stuff, and that's where a lot of the things coming from. A lot of interesting from that smaller stuff now.
I occasionally see like Doom saying about like the lack of AAA releases and things like that, and they're there, but I don't know, they just don't seem to be as interesting as maybe they used to be.
I think the biggest problem with AAA is that the companies are so risk averse.
Yeah,
they just
a lot of 3s and 4s and 5s and 6s.
A lot of sequels are going to get made because there's known quantities with them.
And then new stuff does come out, like Conquered, and no one gives a fuck.
Yeah, no one cares about it. So,
I mean, I played that closed beta of Conquered. I didn't think it was that great.
Yeah,
but
so I just think that's the biggest issue with that stuff is that the big publishing developers, big publishers mainly, aren't willing to put big dollars behind something so new because if it fails, you're not necessarily just losing money. You're looking at the potentially that studio having to close because of it. So that just leads to,
or they get bought again, like Tango.
Tango, yeah. So
they get closed and then bought.
Yeah. So you just, it's just really the industry's in a weird spot at the moment. That's for sure. You probably expanded too quickly during COVID, and
who could have seen that bubble bursting?
Yeah. And then I think they're now just adjusting to post-COVID, setup and
The equalization, yeah.
yeah, so normal, equalization, all that stuff. So yeah, it is interesting, but
I don't know.
yeah,
Star Wars Outlaws is out in a couple of days, and that's in journalists' hands or reviewers' hands. They can't really say much about it, so nothing's really been said about it yet beyond what's been played at events, and people seem to be digging on it.
Yeah, I think so. I think it seems to be getting reasonably positive buzz so far.
We'll find out probably in about 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, 3 or 4 days we'll start seeing those reviews coming out. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that. But yeah, yeah. Gamescom was just a bit.
There.
It could have not happened. I would have gone, okay, cool. It would not have mattered. It wasn't. It existed. And I don't think it. Don't know if
it always sounds harsh to say it was just there, but yeah, it kind of was just there.
It sort of didn't really need to exist because of what it was. So yeah, and it's odd because I mean, as I said, presented was well. The show was presented well, I should say, and that sort of stuff.
Keely always does.
Yeah, Keely's always pretty good with that stuff. So
he's a good, nice, inoffensive person. He ended up in a game trailer,
which actually pretty funny. So
yeah, that wasn't bad. I don't know if the game will live up to that. I'm almost going to guarantee that game won't live up to that.
Oh, yeah,
I think not Hall of Meat.
Something like that.
Something of meat.
Something of meat. Yeah.
It's like Fall Guys, but it has the word meat in it.
Yeah, yeah. But no, it was yeah. We've probably done this discussion now. I think we can move on.
The only other, and it's not even a story. Did you hear about like the original Civilization is still on an old PC that Sid Meier has?
No.
Apparently, yeah. You could find it at Sid's house. You can just go up, boot up his PC, and the first Civilizations is just still on there, ready to go.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. I don't know.
Should be
yeah.
released then, so other people can play it. Game preservation.
The original Civilization it's been out for 30 years.
Yeah, but why is it still on his? Why is it a story that's on his computer? Is it because it's
I don't know. I think people just assume that because he built it and developed it, it'd be long since that copy or that version of it long since been deleted. But no, apparently that on that 16 megabit hard disk that he's got has got the original Civ.
It should be preserved, not on his computer. That's what I'm getting at. In a museum or something.
I wonder if GOG has it.
God, what's that? That kickstarted Games History Museum, I think is what it's called.
Video Games History Museum, I think it's called.
Yeah. So that should be that is where that should be. At least they copy
that computer should be in that museum.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah. Anyway.
There is one topic we didn't talk about from opening night live, but I kind of don't want to talk about him because fuck him.
Okay, fair enough.
Peter Molyneux, fuck him.
Oh, don't care. You should move on then.
Yeah, moving on. How's about we start talking about the video games that we've played then, Graham?
Alrighty.
You've got a massive amount.
And my bloody things aren't working. God damn it.
Oh!
There we go.
There we go. Hey, this game's familiar.
So this is a game that I actually didn't know was around until you sent a message on our Slack channel thingy saying, I've played some area in 6 and it's very... What was your wording of your... Just get your wording.
Very me.
Very me, which is the developer of Desperados 3 and the Shadow Tactics game.
Shadow Tactics and
Shadow Gambit from last year as well.
That's what that was called. I couldn't think of it on the stream.
Now you completely undersold this. This is not just very... This is basically a copy of it. And it's using the same... it's got to be using the same engine. Because it is exactly the same. It's the same graphics engine. It plays exactly the same way. They've made their own...
I sucked at it the exact same way.
They've done their own things to make it a bit different in terms of some of the things they do. There's no... Well, at least there wasn't I've played the demo in this case. It's out in about a week. We covered a couple of weeks away. It's out on the 9th of September or something.
It says 2nd of September right there.
Oh, okay. It's out the 2nd of September. I thought it was on the 9th. I thought it was on the 9th. Anyway. So it's from a company called... Let me just get the name of it because I'll turn on the screen. It's called Artificer. I think it's how you...
Artificer.
Artificer, I'm not too sure. It's a Polish developer.
Devolver published, which I
Devolver,
fucking love that Devolver puts something like this out.
yeah, this is something quite not what they would normally be known for. Sort of that's
Oh,
not their sort of standard game, you could say. Um,
what's up
so
with the
yeah,
bear?
this is the game people that made your Showgunners from. Was it last year before? When did you play Showgunners?
Year before, I want to say.
Must have been 2022 maybe. No, that was 2023, wasn't it? It was
Oh,
Showgunners.
that's a good question. Let's find out.
That was 2023. It was last year.
Yeah, last year.
So that was.
Which I didn't realize. I forgot about. I heard that somewhere, and then I forgot about it until I booted up the demo on the Friday show. Because I downloaded this demo a couple of weeks back, or a week or two ago, and I'm like, I'm going to play it, and I didn't get around to it until this past Friday show just gone. Because I'm like, all right, World War II. I like World War II shit. I think it was it. I think I saw it maybe described as XCOM-y, or maybe I read that wrong. But it is hell of me.
No, it is using the same engine. It looks exactly like their games do. So it must literally be using the same engine or something because it looks exactly like all those games do from MME. So there's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly the same. That's the same vision cone. Behaves exactly the same way. Map in the top
I got
right
fucked over by those vision cones in exactly the same way.
Vision map in the top right hand corner. It's a little bit different now. I think they might have tweaked the UI, the HUD a bit, but you've got your player select in the bottom right normally. It have changed this a bit from these screenshots, but you got the same sort of what's I'm looking for skill stuff. Like you haven't got the same skills, but you've got the same concept. You've got ability to walk up and knife dudes, well, sneak up and behind them and knife them. You've got each two characters I've played so far have got abilities. I've stopped playing after the first mission. Played through the first mission. I thought, okay, I know what this is. No point doing anything more.
Wait, which part of, for lack of a better term, which part of the first mission is it? Did you get into the train car and then end it?
No, there's more beyond that. There's a whole.
Yeah, all right. So I got to the part where we're trying to climb vines and I couldn't figure it out, and I kept dying. So I was like, all right, we're done.
Okay, it's pretty easy per se.
No, I could fit. All right, I figured out climbing the vines.
Yeah.
It was the soldiers on the bridge and trying to figure out like getting the lady through the crawl space and not getting killed there.
Okay, fair enough.
I ended up getting killed a lot on the two dudes before the vines.
Okay, so I've played that mission to its completion, and then.
Okay, all right, yeah,
there was one after. There was at least one after that.
Okay.
That I didn't. I stopped when it started. The third mission or the. Depending how you count them. Yeah, the sixth big mission, the second big one, or the third thing you. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, like the game is identical to all those other games by MME. So same vision cone, same stuff. You've got abilities. You've got ability to select characters, and each one's got different set of abilities. Some can and can't do things. Like for example, there's a character in the first part you played as Sid to begin with, in that first part of the mission. He can climb vines, whereas the second character you meet, Isabella, there's some sort of relationship between the two, like there might be
brother and sister.
I think they're adopted brother and sister. I'm not too sure.
Okay.
I think that's what they are. She can't climb vines, but she can go through underground grates sort of thing, whereas he can't. So that sort of basic ability.
He's too fat.
He's too fat, apparently. But yeah,
I thought that was really harsh when she said that. You can't go through this drain. You're too fat. Ha ha.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I feel bad for him.
Yeah, but in terms of
his dad doesn't like him, so
it's got some nice abilities too, in terms of what they can do. Like, as I said, it's one of those games. Each character's got its own set of unique abilities. Same sort of thing. Like one where it tracks the people get attracted to it, so they've got the equivalent of that. Yeah, so you've got your. So it's got a lot of things. I'm not dismissing that at all. I'm just saying this is a me game like those previous ones were, and I fucking loved when I played this thing this morning. Last night. It is awesome. So it's got.
I was really curious how you'd react to this.
Yeah, I mean it's obviously not from the same group, which is disappointing. They've had to close. I did a bunch of research to see if some of the developers started this company because it's so close, but apparently none. There's no crossover whatsoever. From what I can tell, there's none. There's no developers from MME work there at all in this other developer. So MME was German company. I'm pretty confident. Pretty sure.
I think
They're
you're right. Either German or European. Definitely European of some kind. I
definitely
can't remember the specifics.
definitely European, but I'm pretty sure it's German. Just see if this is going to allow me. No, I can't search that. Okay. Shared. Just give me. Pretty sure.
And while you're looking that up, people who watched the stream on Friday will know that like the spider, the ability with the spider icon that's in that screenshot. I forgot how that was meant to work. I thought I could jump into a dude and also then like control that guy. Turns out, no, you can't. And it took me 3 or 4 times getting shot to figure that out or to remember that.
All you do is just you go for a ride with them and then.
Yeah, it's basically it's just a car, and I fucked that up so many times. I'm like, what am I not doing? Oh wait, they have such a great way of making me feel like the dumbest motherfucker possible.
Yeah, German. German. Yes, our German game. German. Remember, he's a German studio. Yeah, it was this one's Polish. So I can sort of see. I just assumed that they were just people that just work for them, but no, apparently there's no connection.
Safe assumption.
But they have had some. I was looking at some of the forum posts by the developers, and they have some of the devs from Mimimi have reached out to them and are very supportive of what this company's trying to do. So there doesn't appear to be any issues there. But I just assumed that from this that the developers had just gone from Mimimi just gone across to them. But no, there's nothing. But yeah, it's got the same thing. The only thing that's really nice about it, if we come back to, and I don't know if ever. I don't know.
There's a bear in the key art. That really confused me.
Yeah, I'm not too sure they're going to show. No, they're not going to show it in here. But there's what they do at the beginning of each sort of mission is they sort of draw little circles around. Here's the target. Here's where we've got to do this and get the.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's not what Mimimi did. So there's a couple of things they're doing differently. The one big thing from the demo that maybe it's in the full game, but not in the demo, is that after you finish a mission in Desperados 3, Shadow Tactics, and Shadow Gambit, it'll do a replay of what you did from the top-down view.
Yep.
That wasn't in the demo, so maybe they're not doing that, which is fine. It's not a big thing, but yeah. Other than that, it's got a lot of awful lot of similarities between the two, and there's no problem with that at all. I think it's like really looking.
It was
really looking good sort of game. Looking forward to it.
It was really funny when I woke up on Saturday morning and saw your response when I sent you that message like, yo, Sumerian 6, very me. I reckon you might dig it. And I wake up the next morning because I went to bed like pretty quickly after finishing on Friday. And you were like, this ain't just fucking like it.
Yeah, so I think I said you're underselling, understating the very,
yeah.
Very bit. Like you're saying, you could have just said it's a copy. It would have been just very accurate. Yeah. I mean, yeah, as I said, it's copying a lot from it, and I've no problem with that at all. I think those games are great, so I've no, yeah. This looks, yeah.
There aren't a lot of those sorts of games around either.
Well, no, there's not a lot at all. So I mean, like really, many games anyone that really doing them frequently. So does someone come along
and
the
Commandos? There's a new Commandos game coming.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I finished Cat Quest 3.
Nice.
So it's really neat. I may go back and play the other two games, but probably not anytime soon. But yeah, because I haven't played a lot of and completed a lot of games this year. That's probably going to be very high on my top 10 list, I suspect.
I was going to say.
And I've not back into, played Satisfactory.
You look like you're looking for the dog.
I am just trying to figure out where he is. So bit of a story with this one. I think I messaged you early last week. I think I was going to reformat my Windows gaming PC because it started giving me the shits. So one of the things I forgot to do is do some backup of these saves for Satisfactory. So I lost about maybe 10 to 20 hours of stuff. So, because I thought I thought my backup was covering it. It turned out my backup wasn't covering this one. So.
Oh no.
So I realised, a minute I realised what I'd done, I thought, oh fuck, how much have I lost? Luckily, I went back to about episode 19 of Solar Factory. I've done 19, 20, and 21, 22 is out. So I haven't lost that much in terms of actual output, but to get to that output is probably 10 to 20 hours, I think, in total.
Mm.
So
When you said you lost it, I'm like, oh wait, did you lose like 1,700 hours of it,
no,
or?
I didn't lose any. Didn't lose any of that. If that had happened, I just would have probably just walked away and said, "I'm not playing that game anymore." But no, I only lost
Oh, it's out in a couple of weeks, so you'll
out
be
in a couple of
fine.
weeks. Yeah, so I yeah, so basically now episode 23 is me to episode, which I'm currently in the middle of recording, is me saying, "Look, I fucked up. This is what happened." When I come back from the short break, I'll have to put everything back the way that it was, and it'll take me 20 hours to do that. But it'll be just a few seconds for you, and then we're going to talk
So
about.
what'd you do? You just end up rewatching the videos to see what you'd done,
Oh,
or
I sort
what?
of knew I sort of knew what I did, so I'm not. It's not as if I have to remind myself what I did because I knew what I did in those 3 episodes. I'm just not going to do it exactly the same way because I can't do the exact same
Yeah.
layout or anything. But the same outcome will be there.
There is a lesson in this.
Oh yeah,
Always
definitely.
check your backups, kids.
Always check your backups. Yep. Um, so yeah, so from that, so that means that I'll be digging into that again to get back to um, where I was after doing those 3 episodes. So 23 is about a bit of a massive catch up to get back to where I was, and then that'll sort of lead into the fact that on the 10th of September, I'm pretty sure it is, it comes out in 1.0. I'll obviously do something around that. I haven't figured out what that will be. It'll depend on where I am and work-wise. I think I should be back. I think I should be around to do it. I think that's the upshot. I think I should be back.
Set off fireworks, party poppers, and dance around butt naked.
Yeah. So yeah. So hopefully it'll be fine. I mean, I drove back into it, spent a couple of hours in it this morning, and yeah, I've done most of what I did, half of what I've already, or a third of what I already did originally. So it's not going to take me long to get it back. So yeah, so I'm actually looking forward to 1.0. They've actually released a bit of a teaser trailer earlier this week. They've actually introduced quantum technologies now being introduced into the game as a part of 1.0. So it's a new machine and new stuff. So I suspect that'll lead into more items to make for the space elevator, which is the main thrust of the game, the story, the campaign, whatever you want to call it. So that'll just be the things I've already made will feed into that. One hopes. So yeah, I think the biggest issue would be that when those big updates come out, whether it be update 8 or update 7, or the various mods that people make, they just break. They just all break. So I will probably go back into that initial when that comes out. I may go into it initially with a sort of a vanilla version of Satisfactory and just have a look around what the new things are. I just won't have all the mods to help me out, but that's not a big issue. Then I'll probably let it sit for a bit and let all the mods get, at least the big ones that I need that are really useful, get them up and updated again and go from there. But yeah, that's basically where I'm at. So yeah, by this time, actually, when will we? So we'll record again in a fortnight, which will be just before. That'll be the week before it's out. So hopefully by the end of that, hopefully before that's out, I'll have episode 23 and hopefully 24 out, and that'll basically be getting ready for 1.0 release. That's the goal in my head. Whether I actually get there or not, it's a different question. I've got a week away in Melbourne again, so who knows?
Oh, do you?
Yeah, got to go away next weekend. So
alrighty, good enough.
So things will probably not pan out the way I wanted to, but we shall see. But yes, that is all I have played. And let's find your thing and go and do that.
Hey! I don't want to shock anybody. I've been continuing to play Ghost of Tsushima. That game's still pretty great. I think I've got about 18-ish hours in it. And I am still on the first... Well, it's not even the first island, but yeah, technically the first island. I'm still just like running around, like uncovering the map. It does map discovery a little bit differently than like traditional like a Ubisoft open world game where you climb towers and shit and it reveals large portions of the map. If you liberate different Mongol controlled bases or territories, it'll explode out on the map a little bit and reveal a small area. But most of the map revealing is done as you're running around the environment.
sort of revealing the fog of war stuff, sort of stuff. Yeah.
A little bit, but it only reveals like the part of the path you fucking run along.
Oh, okay.
So like the one of the outfit my guy's currently wearing is literally one of the perks of it is reveals 30% more of the map.
Oh god, okay. That's interesting.
But it looks quite nice and stylish, so I'm happy with it. And like sometimes you don't need to set a waypoint at a specific activity because as you're running through the environment, if there's an activity or something nearby, a yellow bird will fly down and guide you there.
Oh, okay.
Because yeah, there's no like compass up top of the screen or anything like that. So like I said last time, it's literally just open map, pick spot, run to it, and do stuff on the way.
Yep.
And that's how you spend about 18 hours not making a massive amount of progress. And it's really funny in the story missions getting like introduced to different side activities and stuff. And it's like, I already fucking did that like 6 hours ago. But yeah, that game's great. That game's really fun. Still looks really nice. I don't know. There's not much really more to say about it. It's fucking great. I dig it. 9 Souls. Still kicking away at that. Some of the bosses in this game have been kicking my ass and fucking shits me. But I persevere because I must, and this game's fucking awesome. Again, not much more to add from what I said last time. It's still great. Plays really well. I fucking love the art style to it and the presentational aspects to it. Sound design's not quite as impressive as the artistic design or the visual design of it all. And it is a very strong search action Souls-like sort of thing. And there's quite a few of those. I think this is one of the better, if not one of the best ones of those to have come along in recent times. It's just fucking hard at times. I had multiple 1 hour plus attempts at a boss fight. Different boss fights, sorry. Saturday morning in about a 3-4 hour stretch. It was like one boss was kicking my head in, and then I came across a different boss that was kicking my head in a totally unique way. But yeah, that game's great. Dug a little bit more into Panorama. Whoop, that went too far. Dug a bit more into Panorama. I think the main objective is you're trying to build all of the possible buildings in the game in a single run. That's the main big aim. And that's fucking hard, man. That's fucking rough. Because like trying to get enough points. I had like my best run ever. I was getting an achievement for get 11,000 points in a run for the first time. And when you see how the games like this handle points, that's a lot of points. And that was a good hour and a half. Like, good solid hour and a half run. I did try and boot up Land Above, Sea Below on the Saturday show. But it was a motherfucker to get it actually running because there was resolution issues and all sorts of shit. So I after the stream finished, I went in, figured it out, and actually got it running properly. But, I don't know. Resolution things are weird. Panorama, very, very good. It is incredibly easy to lose multiple hours to that fucking thing, and in a great way. Oh, it's so good. This will probably... I said last time I was done with Surmount.
Yeah, so I was surprised to see it on the list when I saw the list earlier. So,
there's a reason.
There's a reason.
I actually got a couple of responses to my discussion question of how like the ledges in the game.
Okay.
And they're like, yeah, it's working properly. I'm like, fuck you, it is. No, it fucking isn't. So I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday. After I had a really, really insane run at another game I'm going to get to in a sec, I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going back in. I need to prove myself not crazy here. Because sometimes it's hard to know. So I went in, and well, of course, you can't actually just go back into the expedition that actually was the tutorial. You have to restart the whole fucking game again. So I restarted I re-downloaded it, restarted it, because let's face it, I'm not playing this fucking thing anymore. Fuck this game. So I just thought, bugger it. Went in, and I was proven right. They do not, in fact, function the way the tutorial messages it. Motherfuckers. And I haven't had a response on my God damn it. This thing, I'm so pissed off because this thing had I really, really enjoyed this thing to start with. And then it doesn't play by its own rules, so fuck this game.
you're really positive on it when we did that quick
I was
check out.
really positive on it. I really liked it.
Yeah. No, you don't.
Now I don't. Because, moving on. Rack and Slay. So there was a really large content update a couple days ago that added a bunch of new challenges and a bunch of new achievements and enemy types and things like that. So I went in and messed around with that for a bit. And there's also an endless mode they added a couple months back. So that after you finish a run, you can keep going in endless mode. One of the really funny things is it has like, when you click on it, it's like, warning, may break the game. I'm like, sweet, I want to see a game break. I tried to replicate the breaking of the game on like twice on stream on the Friday and Saturday show, and I couldn't do it, and it annoyed the fuck out of me. But I broke it to the point where I got to level 66, and I had plus 100,000 power and like 190,000 gold. And there were so many enemies on screen that I would be killing 160 like little different balls at once. Oh, it was great. It was super satisfying, but it was just getting boring. But it was pretty fucking fantastic and pretty satisfying because I had so many different bombs coming off my ball as I'm shooting, and the enemies are exploding like 5 times each when they get killed or fall into a hole. Oh, and I was trying to I got images, like I took screenshots of it. So I'm like, yeah, I've got the proof, I've done it. But I was trying to show it off on video and I couldn't get it to goddamn work. So that bummed me out. But anyway, Rack and Slay's fantastic. My project games on the Saturday show, I got over them. My initial, like, You Suck at Parking has fallen through because the placement of the camera is fucked, and some of the ways it wants you to do the challenges are fucked as well, and a few other bits and pieces. So I'm like, you know what, bugger that. Mortal Shell, done. Mm-hmm. I have had this for a little bit. Fashion Police Squad, which is a different acronym for FPS, which I think is really funny. I only figured that out during the actual show because I'm smart. But basically, it's a first-person shooter in that sort of classic style, but instead of like shooting bad guys, you have like enemies that are dressed in various fashion crimes, and like there's a bunch of like corporate dudes in really dull suits. So you're shooting with a paint shotgun to make them all bright and jazzy. And there's like dudes that have massively over like suits that are too big. That I was trying to state that and it wasn't working. So you have a sewing machine that's a SMG, and you shoot them a bunch of times, and it tightens up their suit, and they look really nice. And like I got through like three levels, and one like the third level culminated in a boss fight against Hugo Boss, Bauss, which I thought was really funny. So I'm going to keep chipping away at this on the Saturday show because I think it's really clever. I think it's really well written. I'm enjoying it. Should I have played it when it came out? Yeah, maybe, but it's still pretty good now. I don't know. Like I said, I bailed on Mortal Shell because I was starting to get annoyed in the way the encounter designs were developed, and particularly like the save states and the lack of healing items. Mm-hmm. Like the only healing items are mushrooms, and you'd only pick up 2 at a time, and they're on a time spawn. Mm-hmm. So at best, I would have 4 mushrooms between my checkpoint and the boss I was up to, but I'd use at least 2 of those mushrooms getting there.
Okay, yep.
So, yeah. So I thought, bugger it, I'm done with that. I'm going to start this, which is Thymesia. Kind of like a budget Dark Souls in a lot of ways. Very, very samey, very drab, like relatively drab from a color palette perspective, visually. It does feel a little cheap, which is a bit hard to quantify outside of that. You'd like, what if you know what those games are supposed to feel like? A $30 version of that, you're going to know what that is. But the more I played it, the more I was enjoying it. So I'm going to stick with this for a little bit longer as the Saturday show project. I accidentally made the Saturday show go 4.5 hours because I got to the boss and I couldn't beat him, and I tried for about an hour, and the boss was an asshole, cheeky little clown fucker. But yeah, one of the nice little tweaks on the Souls formula is that you get this ethereal claw, and if you charge it and hit dudes with it, you then take an ethereal version of their weapon that's single use.
Oh, okay. Yep.
But like the boss that I ran into didn't give me a weapon, but it gave me like a smoke bomb dodge instead. So I was like, poof, vanish, and then like be able to almost teleport around him. So it's cool. Like the more I played it, the more I enjoyed it. I'm glad I did, because I sort of partially dismissed it initially. I was like, this isn't great, but I'm going to keep chipping away at it. And I did, and I started enjoying it more. So that'll be at least for the next couple of sad days, that'll be what I do on the show. There was a promotion on the Steam store around tiny games with tiny teams, so small developers. And I downloaded quite a few demos from that were on that promotion. It made up the bulk of last Friday's show and a good chunk of this Friday's show as well. And the best thing to come out of it was Dungeon Crawler, which, number one, great fucking name. Because it's basically a claw machine, but it's also a dungeon crawler.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So you have your little cat kind of thing, which is in the key art, and he's got a grappling hook or a claw for his hand. Don't ask me how that works. And you stand on, like, it's got basically sort of, the screen is split into almost two halves. And the bottom half, your guy and the enemy are just standing there, or enemies are just standing there. And the top half is literally like a claw game. You hold the button down, or hold the space bar down, I think, to make the claw go across. You let it go to drop it and pick stuff up. And what it picks up, it drops down to you. And if it's a shield or a weapon or things like that, you can then use. I dug this. I played nearly an hour of this on the Friday show, like a couple of weeks back. And I'm really looking forward to this coming out. I could see this being a major time sink. Kind of like Rack and Slay. It's just a really clever twist. I'm borderline really sick of roguelikes just in general, because there are so fucking many of them. But when they do unique and interesting things like Dungeon Crawler, like Rack and Slay, and they have an interesting gameplay mechanic or an interesting gameplay approach, that's where I actually stay interested. Because most of it's there's a lot of Dead Cells-y sort of clones around, the action roguelite. Yeah. There's so fucking many of them.
I guess that
to the point where I'm
so successful, I can understand why people are trying to copy what it was.
There is that.
So,
the final update for Dead Cells is coming soon too. After 7 years. But yeah, this is I really dug this. The demo of this, and I'm waiting for it to hit and come out, which is nebulously sometime this year. So that'll be cool. It has a really nice, just really nice little drawn art style. It's super good.
It's interesting.
This is the last thing I played this week. Hey, another roguelike thing.
Interesting design decision to have that. That's similar to what
absolutely
similar to what sort of twist on the puzzle platformer when that oh god, what was it called? Yoku's Island Express, the pinball.
Yoku's Island Express, yeah.
That sort of a similar, put another game inside another game kind of a twist. Yeah, that was really good, that game. And this is like a similar sort of mix.
I really dug Yoku's Island Express. That game was fucking awesome.
Yeah. It's looked like a similar sort of cross blending of stuff, which is really neat.
So Dice Folk, it kind of goes on the dice / deck building roguelite sort of vibe a little bit. There's kind of a Pokemon vibe to it in essence, because you get chimeras. So you have 3 little chimeras that have health points, attack points, can get mana and stuff like that. And you start with 3 dice. As you can see in the key art here, the white ones are yours, the purple ones are the enemies. You actually have to decide when the enemies get to use their abilities. So, you could just run through all of your dice first, then have to just suck it up and deal with the enemies, or you could sort of strategically try and play the enemies' moves out in between your own. It reviewed really quite well when it came out, and I bought it on special a few weeks back. And I'm like, oh, let's give this a run. And it's really quite cool initially, but after a few hours, there's only 3 stages, I guess, for lack of a better term, in a successful run.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't beaten the 3rd. I kept getting to the 3rd one a few times and then just didn't end up being able to finish it off. But it sort of felt like a lot of progression is really tied to luck and RNG.
Mm-hmm.
And you do unlock new environments and new monsters, new chimeras to fight as you progress, but it's fucking repetitive because there isn't a lot of that stuff early on.
Mm-hmm.
So like the RNG and luck dependence and the repetitive nature of just the environments and the monsters I was fighting, that sort of got in the way of the enjoyment I was having. Like it was cool, but after just running basically the same environments and seeing most of the same monsters again, I'm like, I reckon we're done. But like there are some really cool and interesting sort of dice based roguelikes like this. Dicey Dungeons was interesting at least. There's a few others, but there are starting to become more and more dice based roguelikes, just like Slay the Spire likes.
Yeah. Yep.
Those card based ones where really only Monster Train was the only one of those that held any interest for me. Yeah, the repetitive nature of the roguelike sort of genre or roguelite genre sort of gets in the way for me now. Unless it's Rack and Slay, because Rack and Slay is fucking awesome. Because who doesn't love pool? You love pool. You got a pool table behind you.
Indeed.
It's got a bunch of shit on it, but you've got one.
Yep.
How I've been meaning, yeah. How have the renovations been going?
They haven't started yet. Hence why the table's still behind me.
I thought it'd be done by now.
Oh fuck, hell no! Considering what I'm getting done, no, it's going to take weeks, months to probably get done.
Graham's ripping his whole fucking house out.
Yes, I am. I'm spending an absolute shitload of money on it too.
I'm not going to ask questions on this sort of stuff. I don't have the brain for it. Anyway, that's what I've played last couple of weeks. It's mostly been like Nine Souls is my weekend game.
Yep.
And Ghost of Tsushima has largely been my after work game because let's face it, cutting dudes with a samurai sword is fucking satisfying. And then there's been these other few games either during the different shows or like Rack and Slay. I accidentally I started the one run that went endless, that went really well. I accidentally started that at like 6 o'clock at night. And normally I start getting dinner together at 6. So that run didn't finish. I didn't choose to end the run until like 7:30. And that's when I went back into Surmount because I'm a fucking idiot. Because I had to know. I had to prove myself I wasn't crazy. But anyway, that's what I've played.
Excellent.
And I've got some must listens, but we'll hit that in the beginning of the end. But before we do the beginning of the end, we're slightly shuffling the placement of the games. Should I play this game? Games of September?
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yep.
Upcoming. It's been done a little differently because I'm the one actually presenting it this time. Assuming I do this right.
Yep. Click on that. Yep. That's it. And go to September. Yep.
I thought it was meant to be black this part, but no.
I haven't done it on this one yet, so yeah,
I'll
get around to doing it one day.
Word.
There we go.
Okay, we've got the upcoming games of September, and I'm pretty sure you added that.
Yep. That's pretty where it came from.
All right, so, yep, all right. Graham really did enjoy that. I thought you might. Sumerian 6, the Hell of Me, World War II, mystical turn-based, or not turn-based, tactical real-time strategy?
Yeah,
sort of.
That covers everything.
Yeah, sure. Very interesting, but again, after playing the demo, again, I'm not patient and not smart enough for these games. The Casting of Frank Stone is a single-player game set in the Dead by Daylight universe, which I don't really dig Dead by Daylight, but this at least seems kind of interesting, so I'm hoping it comes out all right. There's Parcel Core, which you're making deliveries, but you're on a bike, so you get to do bike tricks and shit. Who doesn't love that? I love that. NBA 2K25. This marks the first year that the PC version is the current generation version.
Okay.
So, like since they've put the 2K games on PC, they've been doing it the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 versions.
Okay. Yeah.
They're finally migrating it to the current generation version on the PC.
Okay, that'll be interesting to see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're still rotten with microtransactions.
Oh,
People
no
aren't
doubt.
happy about the microtransactions
No doubt.
in the old 2K games. But I think they're doing a bit more proper WNBA stuff.
Yeah, something
Which, hey, cool.
Yeah.
Astrobot hits on September 6th, which, man, I really hope that's good.
Mm. No reason to think it won't be.
There is that, and there is that special PlayStation 5 controller where you have little Astrobot eyes in the touchpad looking at you. That sort of creeps me out a little bit, but whatever. What the Car is out on September 9th on PC. Apparently, it's been on phone for ages, but I played the demo on a Friday show a few months back, and it's fucking fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
This might be my favorite one of these so far, Graham.
Okay.
But we shall see. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Surely it hits its release date.
Didn't they do something in Gamescom with this? With this opening all live? Did that have?
They showed the trailer.
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah, okay.
One game says noticeably missing because I don't think we mentioned it. Stalker 2 will not hit its September date. It's been delayed again to November.
Okay.
Which, bit of a bummer, but hey. Yars Rising. I just think that looks like a pretty cool Metroidvania, search action, platformy type thing. Has a little bit of roots in Yars Revenge, which was an old Atari game. As you can see, Atari Interactive is the publisher and Way Forward are the developers. And they do some pretty good 2D platforming recently. Who can say? Wild Bastards. It's the next game. It's like Void Bastards, but Wild West, but still in space. Let's go. Evo Tinction is a game I added. Seems at least in the genre descriptions. Role-playing strategy. What the fuck? I don't know. Hack and slash beat 'em up adventure. So to me, sort of hits me as maybe a Soulsy sort of game.
Yep.
Perhaps.
I can see that. Yep.
And I'm nothing if not a Soulsy fan. I like them Soulsy games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I left the Void Project in here because I played the demo of this and I fucking did not like it at all. But I forgot to take it out of here because I'm clever. It's finally coming, Graham. UFO 50 is finally nearly out. Apparently, as the name suggests, 50 games published and partially developed by Mossmouth. They are behind Spelunky.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently the 50 games are fairly fleshed out too, and fairly, not like Action 52 bullshit. So this could be ruinous for some people's time.
Yes.
Not naming any names. Graham. God of War Ragnarok hits the PC on September 19th. You interested in this?
I might. I'm not at release though. I mean, I bailed on that game so quickly when I started playing on the PC, PS5 when it came out.
Oh, did you actually start playing it?
I started playing it and played it for maybe a couple of hours, and I'm not into this dynamic between the father and the son and all that. I just bailed on it. So I got so sick of it being basically the same dynamic between the two of them from the first game. I thought, I don't know if I can put up with this again. At this point, so I may go back to it under PC. I probably won't. Second saying that, but yeah.
I went one better. I pre-ordered it and I didn't even fucking start it. Basically because I heard very similar things to what you just said.
Yeah.
And it just held no real appeal. And I'm like, oh, maybe the PC version, but hearing you say that and remembering that.
So it's going to be the same game, so
they
won't have changed that at all. So.
No, I forgot about that part, that's all.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because that was around when I got the better PC stuff too, so I was even less inclined to play games on my PlayStation because I'm a dickhead. The Karate Kid Street Rumble. It's a belt action beat 'em up, and apparently a pretty good one. I like them. Rusty Rabbit, which is a great name. 2D platforming type of experience with some like a tough rabbit that's eating. Wait, is he eating that or smoking that carrot?
Both, maybe?
Is that carrot drugs?
I'm sure it is.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 1 Chaos Reigns expansion. That's the only way to get the Season 2 pass. I don't know what's going on with the art stuff there. September 24, that'll be the story expansion as well. That'll be one thing I test. No, little cat. Well, the plush cat fell off the desk, but that'll be one of the things I test this thing out on.
Yep.
The Levelers. That and Terry Bogard coming to Street Fighter 6, which is around the same time. Actually, I think it's almost the exact same day that Terry Bogard hits Street Fighter 6 and this expansion comes out. That's weird. Epic Mickey rebrushed, so a remastered version of the Epic Mickey, which came out on the Wii. Did it come out on 360 and PlayStation 3 as well?
Can't remember. Not too sure.
Neither can I. I feel like it did, but and maybe because it looks nicer, it might play better. Who can say? Iron Meat. I just think that looks cool, so that's why I put that on there. I think that seems from the screenshots, I'm getting a Valfaris vibe from that heavy metal Contra. Not the sequel that was basically heavy metal R-Type, because I didn't really like that one as much. And The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Fucking let's go. You're pretty keen on this one too, aren't you?
I may actually pull the old Switch out for this one.
Nice.
Haven't used it in 2 years probably.
I pulled my Switch out to buy stuff on it and then put it back in the dock and then forget to play stuff on it. I was going to make this a school holiday game, but I think it actually comes out in like a week or two after the school holidays finish.
Okay.
So I'm like, fuck. EA Sports FC 25. I don't know. It's basically FIFA, but I like FIFAs, but I haven't bought. I just can't do yearly on sports games anymore.
No,
maybe this.
Yeah, it wouldn't be on my list either. So,
I'm maybe like if it's better, I might check it out because I like football. And last but not least, Airborne Empire.
Assuming it comes out in the quarter, because it probably won't. So
it might do.
Might do, but yeah.
Who would ever put the wrong release or not release on the date they aim for?
Well, they haven't got a date, so that's probably why I don't think they'll get it.
That was the joke. It was like jokes are always funnier when you have to explain them. I understand this, but still. Yeah, I don't know. Some pretty good stuff, but like, still sort of lacking that. Well, Call of Duty's not on here because But yeah, there's some really cool stuff I'm looking forward to for September.
Yeah, and there's some there's some book stuff in there, that's for sure.
Yeah. What the car finally is. Oh, fuck me. Oh, let's go. Anyway, shall we begin the end?
Yes, we should.
Press some buttons. I might have actually timed that right. I'm very impressed with myself. I do have like I said, I do have a couple of must listens. Where is, damn it, there. 3 of them, in fact. Gravemind, which I'm pretty sure is actually a band from New Zealand. With their album Introsphere. That was really, really good. I enjoyed that. Sunscourge and the Oracle Spectre. 2 bands coming together for, I don't think it's a split EP because both bands play on all of the songs on the release Crepuscular Rituals, and my phone didn't tell me that crepuscular was misspelled, so that must be a word that I just don't know. And the Archaic Epidemic is back with a release titled Infinite Exile, and fuck me, there's been quite a few sort of deathcore releases I've seen this year, and I'd like listen to it for a little bit. I'm like, not this one though. This one fucking whips. This one's great. And the new Fear for an Autopsy should be out, I think, in a couple of weeks too, maybe. Ooh. Anyway, must listens. Go and listen to them. They're pretty great. Thoughts?
I'm not going to listen to it. Why would I do that?
I don't know. I just thought it might be funny just to throw you in there and go, hey, say something.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm not going to play. I'm not going to listen to them. They're not. They're not my music.
Okay, fair enough.
Each of their own. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. Anyway, so twitch.tv/enemy starship for the Friday and the Saturday show. You said you're looking at getting a 23 and a 24 of Solo Factory up onto YouTube's.
Hopefully the next week or so. Yep, we'll see how things go.
Perfect. We did a checkout of Stormgate last weekend.
Yes, we did. Yep.
Which we both sort of went in there at least somewhat optimistic and quite hopeful. I think we both left that thing with the exact same feeling. No thanks.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a bummer. I think we probably need to figure out once we're off recording, but you're not here next weekend?
Correct. Yep.
All right. I will find some stuff to do. And I don't know if there's anything else, Graham.
Don't think there is.
That'll
do us.
Yeah, that'll do it. All right, so for these, how about I stop that and redo it? Episode 305 of the Should I Play This Game podcast for this, the 26th of August, 20 and 24. Graham Banks.
Thank you very much.
There you go. That's what I was waiting for. Some sort of acknowledgement at least. I'm the tribal chief of this podcast. Acknowledge me. No, don't, because bad. No, Roman Reigns. No. Bleh. Anyway, we'll be back in a couple of weeks with another podcast, and then there'll be some video stuff up on the YouTube and stuff like that in the meantime.
Yep. Indeed.
For now, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Push the button.